This is 6 News Now, here for you 24 hours a day, online at WLNS.com.
Michigan State University's Ukrainian student organization was formed 3 years ago, but in recent weeks and months, it's become more active.
Tony Garcia sat down with the group's president, board members, and historians for their perspective.
He's here for you now with their message. Tony?
Yeah, Sherry and Lauren, there was the famine in the 1930s that wiped out millions. Then there was the Chernobyl disaster in 1986. In 2014, Putin claimed Crimea from Ukraine, and yesterday, the Kremlin declared 2 more areas are now independent and are not a part of Ukraine. So for those who call Ukraine their homeland, it is a sad pattern they want the U.S. to help stop.
So this is not a new development in Ukraine's history with aggression from Russia.
It is a constant pattern that we have seen throughout history in the 20th century.
Leaders in the Ukrainian community at MSU said the aggression from Russia isn't new, but that doesn't mean it's not terrifying, especially for one who was born in Ukraine and has many he's close with still there.
They are only a few hundred kilometers away from occupied Crimea. That, of course, worries me.
They say that Putin's goal was to take control of all of Ukraine, and his decision to acknowledge 2 breakaway regions as separate from Ukraine is terrifying.
I see this recognition of legitimacy of these organizations that have inflicted so much terror, so much evil. It's not just worrying, it's outrageous.
So, for those who have no choice but to be invested in these developments, what would they like to see happen? Well, the students had levels to their answers.
So it's important to sanction them, if we are to sanction them, before any sort of aggression or major aggression begins in Ukraine. We're the next step into the rest of Europe.
Sanctions only do so much. What has to happen is real support. Send troops to Ukraine. For those, again, who think that this is an ocean away, this is a conflict that will decide the precedent as to how nations deal with one another.
If Putin invades Ukraine, who's he going to go after next? People like him, they don't stop. Oh, I'm good now. No, that's not the way these people work. As I say, it could be Poland. They're a member of NATO. If they get pulled in, the entire world will suffer. Hard to describe just exactly momentous the situation is.
Now, students say the best way for people here to help is become aware and read legitimate news organizations. Now, the student organization will have a presentation on March 3rd. That will include a speech from former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine, Bill Taylor. Sherry?
Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video, and a red light alert badge notifies you when we're streaming. Download or update our new local news app today. 6 News, here for you.
I'm Siobhan Klipfer, and if you're looking for a different kind of lunch break, check out the Daily Digital Debrief every weekday here for you at 12:30 on WLNS.com and on the 6 News app. It's a little bit of news, a little bit of weather, and a little bit extra.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, the bad news, if you don't like snow, is there is more on the way. The good news, though, is that it's not going to be like any of our previous winter storms. This is mainly snow, and the amounts are not terribly heavy. Here's a look. We'll take you through time into Thursday evening. Notice by Thursday evening at 11 o'clock, an inch, maybe 2 in spots. It'll continue to snow through the overnight hours, and by the time it's all said and done on Friday, generally 2 to 4 inches of accumulation. There is a little splotch of purple on there. I don't know if you could see that, just south of Mason. Some of the models are indicating there may be a little band of snow that sets up somewhere in the area, so someone may push past that 4-inch mark, but it should be fairly isolated. So I'd say count on 2 to 4, and if you're lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, you could see a little more than that. Satellite and a radar today shows we've got just a couple passing flurries, not a whole lot happening as far as active weather for now. Precision cast through tomorrow morning. We'll continue with partly to mostly cloudy skies through 7 o'clock. By tomorrow afternoon, here comes the storm system, some snow showers moving into Jackson and really central sections of mid-Michigan as well, probably by around 6 or 7 o'clock. And then widespread light snow during the overnight hours. Now by 7 o'clock Friday morning, it's starting to move out. There could still be a couple lingering snow showers, so the morning commute could be impacted by this storm system. It should move out, though, in earnest by the afternoon hours as we see chilly temperatures continuing and still a fair amount of clouds around the area. As we, oh boy, there's another computer model in there. Let's skip by that one because I picked my model for today. Temperatures outside are in the mid-20s. 24 degrees in Lansing, 24 in Charlotte, 23 in Mason, 23 in Howell. Our Skyview Network cloud cover again this afternoon in St. John's, 22 the current temperature. High today was up to 29 and we saw a 32-mile-per-hour wind gust. On our WLNS cam, cloudy skies, 24 degrees, 29 the high, the morning low only down to 21, not too bad. Current conditions in Grand Ledge, the sky condition is the same, cloudy, with a temperature of 23 after a high of 27 and a wind gust today up to 34 miles per hour. Jackson Cam, you guessed it, more cloud cover, 23 degrees the current temperature. High today 28, wind gust up to 31 miles per hour. And I should have set that up by saying, can you guess what the sky condition will be in Hillsdale? You would have been right. Cloud cover continues. Our current temperature in Hillsdale at 23 degrees. High today was 28 and our peak wind gust a little over 40 miles per hour. For tonight, overnight low down to 15 degrees with partly to mostly cloudy skies. For tomorrow, cloud cover really begins to thicken up late in the day. Light snow building in tomorrow evening. On the 6-day forecast, because the snow could impact the morning commute on Friday, we're going to make that a weather aware day, but it's primarily just in the morning. Temperatures in the mid-20s for highs. Nice warm up Saturday and Sunday, and then by Tuesday we're closing in on 40 degrees, looking good there. And then we're in the 40s for several days, although there are some subtle changes. Some cold air may try to nose its way down late next weekend with some moisture. Some wintry weather possible, long ways away, and plenty of time for us to watch that. Most important right now is the snow moving in tomorrow night. Not a huge winter storm, but enough to make things slippery once again.
I think you've had enough red days on there for a while, David. Let's make this the last one.
I really feel like we've used more this year than we have in previous years.
I think we have.
And there's still time left in winter.
Ugh, don't remind us. Thanks, David. Well, coming up next here on 6 News at 5.
Dozens of truckers are...
Introducing our new redesigned 6 News mobile app. Our new app features a sleek, modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video, and a red light alert badge notifies you when we're streaming. Download or update our new local news app today. 6 News, here for you. WLNS is here for you with 6 News at noon.
Ukraine declared a state of emergency as the threat of an all-out war with Russia looks more and more likely. It's our top story at noon. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for watching today. I'm Kiera Lake. The U.S. and Western allies issued the first set of sanctions against Russia yesterday with promises of more to come. As Deborah Alferone reports, the impact of the war in Ukraine will have an impact around the world, including increasing global energy prices.
Ukraine announced a state of emergency and is mobilizing its National Guard in response to the threat from Russia.
Plan A is to utilize every tool of diplomacy to deter Russia and prevent further escalation. And if that fails, Plan B is to fight for every inch of our land and every city and every village.
The U.S. says Russia continues to send forces into rebel-held areas of eastern Ukraine, and satellite images show the Russian buildup along Ukraine's borders growing, including field hospitals being set up.
Russia's moved supplies of blood and medical equipment into position on their border. You don't need blood unless you plan on starting a war.
President Biden announced the first set of sanctions against Russia, targeting 2 large Russian banks with ties to the military and cutting the country off from Western financing.
These have been closely coordinated with our allies and partners and will continue to escalate sanctions if Russia escalates.
President Biden warned that the sanctions against Russia will have an impact on Americans, especially at the gas pump.
As we do this, I'm going to take robust action to make sure the pain of our sanctions is targeted at the Russian economy, not ours.
Fuel prices are already on the rise, reaching 7-year highs. Russia accounts for about 12% of the global supply of oil and 17% of natural gas supplies. Deborah Alfarone, CBS
Introducing
News,
our
the
new
White House.
redesigned 6 News mobile app. Our new app features a sleek modern design, an easy-to-navigate home screen with quick access to local news content, and a localized weather forecast. Subscribing to notifications is easier, and with one tap, you have access to recent push notifications. There are more ways to watch and find video, and a red light alert badge notifies you when we're streaming. Download or update our new local news app today. 6 News, here for you.
I'm Siobhan Klepfer, and if you're looking for a different kind of lunch break, check out the Daily Digital Debrief every weekday here for you at 12:30 on WLNS.com and on the 6 News app. It's a little bit of news, a little bit of weather, and a little bit.
It happens sometimes during the winter. You're driving down the road with sunglasses on, and then suddenly there's dangerous whiteout conditions. Meteorologist Kendall Wilson explains snow squalls in this week's Weather Wednesday.
Now, we might have piqued your interest with that word before, snow squall. And even though you might not know exactly what this is or how they form, odds are you have found yourself smack dab in the middle of one while on the roads, especially within the last couple of weeks in the mid-Michigan area. Now, snow squalls form when we have a sudden burst of cold air move into the area, likely from a passing cold front moving through. But we also have relatively warm surface temperatures. So it's a similar situation to the setup for lake effect snow, if you recall, which is why these conditions are most commonly seen during lake effect systems. Now, with this setup in mind, the warm air rises throughout the atmosphere, and once it gets high enough, it will eventually cool and condense into cloud cover and begin to produce snow. Now, snow squalls move fairly fast. They only last around an hour, but they can produce 2 inches of snow in around 30 minutes in most cases. Now, combine this with gusty winds, and that means we can see whiteout conditions in the matter of minutes. And add on top of that rapidly falling temperatures producing icy roads in a region, it can be a very scary situation that no one wants to find themselves in. Now, snow squalls are often what causes multi-vehicle crashes in the winter, so if you do find yourself in these conditions, a couple of things you will want to keep in mind. Slow down. Turn on your headlights, especially your hazard lights. This will actually help you to become more visible to other drivers in these conditions. You'll also want to create a lot of distance between yourself and surrounding cars, and don't slam on the brakes. This could cause you to lose control of your vehicle fairly fast. But a good rule of thumb is to always take the word snow squall seriously when they are mentioned by any meteorologist, and if possible to delay or completely avoid travel until this system moves out of the area. I'm meteorologist Kendall Wilson, 6 News.
Coming up next, one man sets an unofficial record, and it is...
This is 6 News Now. We will begin in 60 seconds. Six News Now will begin in 30 seconds. Don't go anywhere. 6 News Now will begin shortly.